So, that happens. Anyways, hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Echo. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it for free on itch.io, but if you want to support the people that made this game and or get newer versions of other games, then go through Patreon. It's $3 a month. So, on the last Let's Play, Brian, for hex and giggles, decided to sew our main character Chace and Leo together, at least from the leg, but was stopped by the monster in the closet, which I think might be Jenna's. It basically cuts Micah down, from the noose, and threw Brian out the window and went after him. At which point, we all went W2EF and are on our way to escape. Urgent care for Leo and 24-hour pancake place for Micah, which actually sounds pretty good right now, the pancakes. So, yeah, let's just set our face, let's scratch my nose, sorry, and begin. I can still feel the stitches in my leg, even though I pulled out the little bits of line half an hour ago. Despite living here the vast majority of my life, even I had trouble figuring out where the hell we were. As I walk, and the sting throbs with every step, I close my eyes and realize how exhausted I really am. Running off extreme adrenaline for a day will take the wind out of you. So will multiple blows to the head, and torture apparently. It do be like that. I keep imagining that when I open my eyes, I'll be back in my dorm. I will sit up from my bed, and Vincent will be tapping away at his laptop on the other side of the room. I tell him I had a fucked up dream, and he'll tell me that in that all too cool for school tone, to blog about it. The rhythmic tapping was at first really annoying, but now it's kind of like a white noise machine. It helps me sleep for some weird reason. Maybe because it makes it feel like I'm not so alone. Chace. I inhale sharply, nearly tripping over a clump of weeds. Jenna places a precautionary arm out in front of me before easing back when she sees I've got my balance again. You still with us? She looks me up and down, as if looking for signs that I'm turning into another Leo situation. Ted Wolf is still with us, ambling along like he can't even feel that half his leg was stitched to mine less than half an hour ago. I look back at her, nodding. Yeah. Exhausted, but that's to be expected, I guess. Ordinarily, I'd love a quiet walk with you at night, though considering the circumstances. She pauses, looking over her shoulder. Well, it could be worse. You had a guardian angel. She noticeably stiffens as I bring up the topic of what just happened. I'm trying not to think about it. None of us had gone around to check out where Brian was dragged. In fact, we made a beeline in the opposite direction. Ordinarily, the lights of the town would guide us where to go, but everything's dark. The moon, our only real source of light. And even that is partially obscured. The productive thing to do is to just think ahead right now. We'll come into town along the back roads, get to the motel, and take your car. I give her an affirmative thumbs up. Micah, meanwhile, is clutching his knife tight. It reminds me how he was with the wrench earlier, when he was worried about Leo attacking him. Now, the two walk nearly side by side. Everyone but Leo is rattled, that's for sure. I can't tell if it's the supposed hysteria's fault, or just a completely rational reaction to all that shit that's happened today. Yeah, it's been a lot. We wake up, Leo's going after, Jenna's brother and Cliff, and then he gets attacked by Brian, then we get back, then we get kidnapped, Yeah. Micah's usually arrogant and gruff demeanor is replaced by a more timid posture, the bat rubbing his neck like he can't believe he's alive. I try to think of something to say as he turns to face me. Micah, how's it going? I'm sorry about Keith. Yeah. We didn't really find out what happened to Keith. Did we? He responds simply, sucking in his lower lip for a moment between one of his fangs before speaking again. Still not exactly sure what happened, but now I have a more definite idea. He looks ahead again, shifting the topic. I had a dream about you, Oh? After he spoke, I only got a little bit of sleep, but what I did dream stuck out to me. You were holding me underwater, drowning me. No, that was a different person. A cold chill creeps up along my spine. Jenna looks over, raising her brow curiously at the bat. Leo stares straight ahead, unfazed. That's weird. Why are you telling me this? Micah waves his hand, dismissing my question as he continues. You were holding me underwater, and it was fucking terrifying because I couldn't breathe. Your hands around my throat felt exactly like that noose did, the way they bristled and cut in my neck. He points to the matted fur around his throat, the pinkish, raw rubbed flesh visible even in the dark. But talking emotionally and shit, I started feeling thankful. Thankful that I was killing you? That's rather macabre. The bat nods, seemingly well aware how strange it sounds. Yet, he doesn't relent, noting how exceptionally strange everything else has been lately. I'd be willing to take everything at face value at this point. Like you were freeing me. Real fucked up, suicidal shit. When I was up in that noose though, I didn't want to die. So that part didn't translate. Honestly surprised I didn't piss and shit myself. Did you guys? Jenna stares blankly at him. No. I did not, no. Leo, of course, has a long trail of shit right behind him. Leo, of course, is silent. To think, I almost left town a couple of days ago. Would have never caught up in this mess. Well, why did you really disappear the first time, back in 2008? Micah fiddles with something in his pocket, taking it out and peering it over. I can't quite make out what it is. Something plastic and thick. A lot of reasons. My folks turned on me after finding out about some shit one night. Came home to find my room torn up, all my belongings outside. Bugger. My mom, the cunt, wouldn't stop fucking bawling and screeched like a dying chicken to me. My dad, meanwhile, had his old police baton, kept coming at me with it whenever I tried to come inside. Kept screaming to let me in and apologizing for every little screw-up I could think of. None of it worked. I tried to sleep on the porch. My dad came out and started kicking me in the back till I left. Jenna grimaces. That's awful. Leo looks back over his shoulder, slowing his pace, some to match ours. I can tell he's at least half listening now, no longer as spaced out. Keith was gone, and, I didn't have anywhere else to go. Wasn't too popular, as I recall. Even with Heather, Clint, and Jeremy, they had their own problems. Should have told me. The words catch Mike by surprise, the wolf staring at him from across the shrubbery. Hey, I know we just survived a near-death experience together, but no need to be getting all retroactively sappy. We turn a small bend. A small bend around a shady embankment, some old car parts scattered in the underbrush. The moon is finally visible from behind Echo Canyon, and I can make out what Mike is carrying, Brian's cell phone. I guess he's gonna try to take that in as evidence. As he moves to push it back into his pocket, it slips and clatters against the rock beneath him. Heck. Fuck. I'll get it. Leo bends down, taking hold of the phone. The screen is shattered, and a few slivers of glass fall to the ground. Damn it. It's not totally fucked. The bat extends out his hand. Thanks. Leo doesn't budge, still staring at the shattered device. Then, from the desert shrub, scattered car parts, a mechanical roar. Light flashes before us, and Leo holds up his paw to shield himself from the light. It takes me just a moment to realize they're headlights, and the roar is from the start of an old engine. It's a van, sitting right in front of us. And it's all too familiar. Thumbnail! What the? Also, let me just remember to do that. Jenna reels back, eyes wide. That wasn't there a moment ago. She mutters, canting her neck some to peer through the red-tinted window to see who's behind the wheel. After a moment of inspection, it's clear that there's no one inside. Jenna. What? Jenna, this is the van from my dream. The one I told you about. Oh, come on. Jenna doesn't sound incredulous to my claim, just exhausted. She crosses her arms tightly over her chest, not letting her eyes leave the sight of the idling vehicle. Okay then, what is it doing here? I don't have an answer for her, and therefore remain silent, stepping away from the front of the vehicle in case it somehow takes off. Also, this makes sense now, because I was like, okay, how would the cat's fur get stuck in the windshield and it's underneath the wheel? But then I didn't think it's like some kind of flat front van, which would make sense, I guess. Micah, meanwhile, looks confused. He peers around, his yellow eyes bright and shimmering in to focus on the headlights. Is everybody barefoot? What the fuck? I know where we are, but we're headed into town, towards the motel. How the fuck are we here? We didn't cross the highway, did we? I look out to our east, and sure enough, there it is, the weathered asphalt of Route 65. I should have noticed if it crossed pavement. Someone would have. It's the complete opposite direction that we should be heading. Jenna gasps, seemingly realizing this is a little after the rest of us. We've been here before. Leo speaks up, clutching the side of his head with a wince. You recognize it too, right? Leo sounds half asleep, turning to face us, though it appears he's only speaking to Micah and I. The bat blinks. Oh fuck. You dreamed about this too, Chace? I swallow and nod, clutching my clammy paws against my shirt. I think so? The dream from earlier had already begun to fade from my memory, as most dreams do, but the way I felt watching it is still very clear, and the whole scene is starting to give me some serious deja vu, or something like it. There was an albino guy. He had bright red eyes, and got ran over. The van's motor continues to idle, humming as it waits. Mine was a little different. Mike doesn't elaborate. No, we've been here before in real life. I'm implying that this is not real life? Micah glances over at the wolf, and the two exchange a look for a moment. Jenna steps forward and tugs at the driver's side door. It opens with a quiet creak, some errant cobwebs fraying apart as the door is pulled fully open. She squints at something by the wheel, then reaches in and taps it. Keys are in the ignition, and there's this big red glare on the dash. Maybe a check engine light? She frowns to herself. It looks like it hasn't been used in a while. Sans whoever turned it on, but I'm no mechanic. If only there were one among us. Leo? She pokes her head out, raised an inquisitive brow at the wolf. You're welcome to take a look if you're feeling up to it. She eyes Leo up, examining his physical condition. Her expression is a mixture of skepticism and concern. Leo begins to limp forward to the van, and Micah quickly steps up beside him to keep him from tipping over. He grunts appreciatively in response, speaking up. It's probably not a check engine light. What makes you say that? Those didn't really exist back when this was made, before the mid-90s. Are you guys thinking we can try this out of Echo? I'm a little more concerned with wondering who turned this on in the first place, and how we even got here. But that's an optimistic though, Chace. So maybe this is a gift horse that we're looking squarely in the mouth right now? Doubt it. Micah rasps, helping Leo prop himself against the driver's side door as Jenna steps aside. The light looks like it isn't coming from the dash. Leo clumsily grasps the wheel. I'm trying to read because I'm like, okay, we're at the part, but I think this might be the last one for today for me. Grasps at the steering wheel, peering closer. It's like it's been reflected off the odometer, but I don't see a direct source. How Leo can see clearly at all after repeated blows to the head may be the real question here. That's fucking weird. A shifty noise comes from the back of the van, and everyone freezes. There's a raggy fabric partition hiding everything from the front seats, past the front seats from view. Gingerly, Leo pulls aside and squints into the red light illuminating his face. I'm guessing it could be the cat, because like sometimes this game could be like, hey, it's magic, and then other times it might be not. Is anyone back there? Leo doesn't immediately respond, and I can't see him well from here. And I can't see him well from where I'm standing. I limp my way up beside Jenna. Leo? She inquires again, more urgent. No, not right now. There is something back there, though. Well, that's obvious enough. I'm too big to squeeze in between the seats. Gotta go around. Everyone takes a step back, out of the now seemingly coherent wolf sway as he exits the van. Fucking deja vu, something fierce right now. You too? Jenna gives us both a quizzical look as Leo braces the handle of the rusted van's door and gives it a yank. At first, it doesn't budge, but after another hard tug, the door flies open. One door partially unhinged as it dangles to the side. There's something standing in the middle of the van, on 3 spindly legs. The red light projects from something on the top and begins to flash on and off. A camera on the tripod? At first, I think it's mine, but upon closer inspection, it looks like an older model. Fucking way! Micah quickly backs away, nearly tripping over a prickly pear cactus with his haste. Nope, this isn't real. Everyone pack it up. We're being filmed? What is this? Some elaborate prank show? Yes, it all is. Echoes, and you know that one show where that one guy's entire life's a lie? Never watched it, but yeah, it's that. This is 100% not funny. Leo says nothing, climbing up into the back of the van and turning the display monitor on the camera around. On it, a little red dot in the corner flashes, on and off, and in time with the illumination of the rest of the cab. The display screen itself shows us standing there at the back of the van, though the image is fuzzy, distorted. I wonder how long it's been here. That's my camera. Micah shouts in surprise, looking briefly to the rest of us before lowering his voice some. The high school camera. But they were shit at keeping inventory. I ditched it after my folks kicked me out. Okay, but what's it doing here? And why is it recording? Judging by the look on everyone's faces, I don't think anyone has the answer to that. Leo brings a heavy paw to his eyes, rubbing them some before peering at Micah, then the screen, then back again. Micah cants his head some at the wolf, letting out a slow exhale. Either this is one fucked up joke, wolf boy, or I'm beginning to think this is the hum's doing. The hum? He mentioned that before, by the motel. Wow, I haven't heard that word in a while. What's the hum? It's hard to describe. Bad dreams, like we talked about before. Feels kind of like Vision Quest shit. Real spiritual stuff, with that Keith talked about a lot. Wasn't good vibes though, bad energy only. Thing is, it only really happens when you're sleeping, and I'm wide-ass awake. He extends his arms out to his sides for a moment before gripping the van's door, thumbing at the chipping paint. I haven't thought about that in a while. Jeremy and Adam talked about it when I was younger, after I mentioned seeing the thing we just saw half an hour ago. She wants to say, but she still visibly can't quite accept that. Not yet. You know what. I don't. But as I was saying, you can kind of tell when it's happening because it's more than just a nightmare. Your ears start buzzing. Like one of those orchestra bands tuning up. Violence in your skull, you know? A creeping sensation that follows exactly what he's talking about builds in my gut. You hear it too? What? Like right now? Leo stares for a moment before nodding. One of the bat's large ears flicks, and he turns his head from side to side. I don't think so. He pauses. Maybe the engine. He shifts his attention back to the vehicle, inking on the van's door some. The spooky-ass ghost van engine. The metal frame of the van seems to rattle in response, though that might just be my imagination. Sometimes, I'd go out into the hills and just camp out away from home, because the hum wasn't as bad there. Heather did it a bunch with me, too, though she had her other reasons. Jenna nods, exhaling slowly before crossing her arms over her chest. So, I suppose, then, you have your theory about all this? One based in, what, Mercedes spiritualism? Honestly, I thought it was like radon poisoning or something. But you get that hum in a few other places around town too. I've slept all over. The rail yard, the lake, the van, they're all really hummy places. You slept in this van before? Despite everything that's happened, the idea that anyone would want to take a nap in this creepy thing is dubious at best for Jenna. Well, Micah trails off. For one usually so coarse and brazen, his seeming awkwardness right now feels out of place for him. We both have. Briefly. Leo places his flat palm on the bed of the cab. Flattened cardboard boxes and ratty bits of fabric that have once been blankets or towels cover the surface. Large cannon brow furrows some, and finally looks back up at all of us. It may be just me, but he doesn't seem sluggish anymore. Jenna lets out an exhausted, amused noise, then her arms flop down to her sides. Truly, I'm not sure I see the appeal. Leo and Micah look at each other. There's a silence. Wait. Hold on. You're not saying... I was so stupid. We were both stupid. Micah squeezes the bridge of his nose, closing his eyes as if cringing at himself. I was such a skeevy little bitch back then. I don't know why I pushed. No, I didn't mean for that, Micah. So wait, they were kind of a thing? I meant for what happened after. You had it rough, and I didn't care. Or if I did, I didn't want to, because of what happened at the party. I feel like an outsider looking in at some intimate conversation I don't understand. Which is a feeling I can't say I felt when I'm around Leo. He'd always go out of his way to include me in everything. What party? What are you guys talking about? Chace, 2008, that Dia de los Muertos party at the Parsons warehouse? The one where you told me you were gay, the nights we got together? I blink. My parents had caught me watching gay porn that morning on the computer. I was afraid to come home to them, so went to the party at the Parsons. The night itself was kind of a blur. I remember getting in a very brief fight with a guy who dumped beer on TJ, and then waking up with Leo over me, eyes full of concern. Somehow, I ended up confiding everything to him about me being into guys. He apparently had a hunch about it. The next thing I knew, he was ushering me out of the old warehouse to walk home with him. We kissed on the railway yard by his house, and that was the start of our relationship proper. Still, something always seemed off about that party and the way Leo was acting. I think I remember some dude trying to come up to talk to him, and Leo telling him off before insisting that I not ask about it. Okay, I don't remember that part, but, it could have been dialogue that I wasn't noticing. He seemed really serious at the time. Didn't want to ruin a good thing, or something like that. I didn't get a good look at the guy he talked to, but he was carrying a camera? The wolf taps the side of the tripod with his fingertips. Leo, you are reprehensible. Jenna's voice is cold and curt. Jenna? What? Shut up. Jenna looks taken aback, but only for a split second before shaking her head in disbelief. Leo winces, clutching his wounded head, his reddish eyes flickering to meet mine. I shouldn't have agreed to it. I was just... Jenna quickly interjects, stepping in front of me. No, Leo. This whole week has just proven to me, time and again, that you are just... She stares, letting out a hot puff of air between her lips before spreading her arms wide. Just perfect for Echo. You truly, truly belong here. You know that? God, how old were you then? How old was Micah? Did you even care? Fucking hell, are you about done? I'm just curious, when this game was made, is it implying that Mike is nearly 21, so he's 20, and it's 2008, so let's just do some math. So when is this game supposed to be made? Interested in seeing Echo. I don't know when this game's made. When is Echo being set? $2015. I think. 2015 minus 2008. Right? So that's 7. So 20 minus 7. Let me just do my math again. So then 2015 party took place in 2008. I think. And then... Okay. So Leo would be going to jail. The math that I did right there was that right now it's supposed to be set in 2015. Party took place in 2008, which was a while ago. Bat was about 20 years old right now, so Leo fucked a child. Or, young teenager, basically 13 years old. I was like, I'm not understanding what's going on. The bat pivots on his heel, away from the van, to face Jenna, his eyebrows narrowed beneath his bangs. Look, you don't know me. I ain't some fucking victim. Shit was my choice. What was your choice? Chace, you're an absolute idiot sometimes. Jenna sounds very disgusted. I frown at her, wondering what the fuck I did wrong. And I abandoned you. Jenna visibly seethes. None of this. She points to the rusty van. That same red light, flashing on and off, makes any sense. But all of your actions completely do. You were just all so perfect for this town, thinking any of that was okay. She throws up her hands, legs shaking with frustration. Is she including me in all this? It isn't... I'm done. Anyway, I'm gone. Done. Jenna. She turns to leave, though a crackling from the front of the van brings her to a halt. Hey. From the console, the distorted voice has become all too familiar, with rings forth again. It's coming from the old radio, the audio crackling through dusty speakers. Jenna recognizes it instantly and begins stepping back away from the van again. We should go. Now. Her voice is shaky. The air itself seems fuzzy, electric, like I'm breathing in 100 different tiny strands of vibrating twine. It sounds like Chace. Hi. Leo is the only one outright responding back, and Micah looks at him with bewildered expression. Don't talk to the hum. It's Chace. Chace is right here, dipshit. He gestures to me, still standing gobstopped at the back of the van. Leo slowly looks back at me, squinting at my chin, then my eyes. It's me. Let's go home. He sees that it isn't my mouth moving, and his eyes widen a little more. A small line of blood runs down from that spot just behind his ear, down to his jaw. I promise I won't bring it up again. Let's go home. Who gives a fuck what the others say? You know I'm right. I remember saying those exact words after Flynn blasted us for skipping Jenna's birthday party in 10th grade. I had convinced Leo to hang out with me instead. I was addicted to private time with him. Addicted to dick. Pedophile dick, even. I promise I won't bring it up again. We're all silent, staring at the dark cab where the noise was coming from, except for Leo, who's looking directly at me. Leave. Why? He asked me. I'm not sure what to say. It's not me speaking, but those are my words. Everything feels hazy. Hazy and wet. Micah leans his head back into the van, trying to get the wolf's attention. Leo, Keith's always said not to talk to the hum. That's what the shit is, no doubt. The hysteria. It has a voice? Apparently, it's your fucking voice, Chace. No wonder everyone's so damned riled up about you coming back. But why me? Do I look like some kind of Masetta Wiseman? Mikey grunts, fidgeting from foot to foot. Despite his demeanor, he's definitely visibly unnerved by all this. I'm parroting shit I've heard from the guy who's probably dead. For a while, when I was younger, I thought I heard Keith's voice too, telling me shit I wanted to hear. But shit that wasn't good for me. So I got the fuck out of town. Jenna throws her hands up, squeezing the pendant on her necklace. I can't handle this. I'm gonna do what the spooky van wants and leave. It's not the van. A voice in my head speaks softly, like a whisper, right behind my ear. It's a masculine voice, but not my own. An older man, with kind old western accent. Familiar. Glancing back, there's no one there. Without thinking, I speak. It's not the van. And how do you know that? I don't know. I admit. There's a long silence, and Leo's tail curls inward. He's biting at the inside of his cheek, thinking hard. Finally, he looks me in the eyes again. It's me. That thing. It follows me. I thought it was you, but it's not you. You're different now. He gesticulates in my direction. Leo, I love... Please, be quiet for a sec, eh? Leo interrupts, the otherworldly voice, like he's shushing a small child. Now he's looking at me. His gaze seems to shift towards the horizon, a 1,000-yard stare. Chace, you all left, and it was never the same. So I tried to cope. I remembered all the stuff you used to say to me, even the naggy shit, all your banter. Hell, I imagine every day at work that you're there with me, talking to me while I'm fixing cars. I pretend I'm teaching you about basics, like changing oil or replacing headlights. I know it's not riveting stuff, but in my head, you love me, and I love you. It's just some distance, that's all. Then, I drive home, listening to what's ever on the radio, and I imagine you reacting to it, groaning every time the word truck is mentioned in the country song, or make some snide-ass remark about political ads. A little smile curves up along your jowls, though it diminishes as quickly as it forms. That little drop of blood running down his fur, his cheek, frantically splatters on the cab floor beneath him. When I get home, I go online, and there's this pulling in my chest, like a dread, you know? I click on the social media shit, and it's you, the real you. And you're different. You're wearing new shirts, hanging with new friends, drinking fancy college beers, growing terrible facial hair. I touch my goatee briefly. Micah gives me a sidelong glance, nodding furiously. And it feels like I'm losing you all over again. So I just avoid it. I pretend that we still drink together on the patio as the sun goes down on Saturdays. I pretend that you're there beside me at home, watching me play my games. And I pretend at night that pillow I've got in my arms, I got my arms wrapped around, is you, making your little irksome noises you do when I ruffle your head fur or squeeze you. Leo plants his rump against the side of the cabin, sliding down into a sitting position as he clutches his head. And then, one day, you start talking back. At first it was quiet. In the back of my head, not even really noticeable. And over time, it just got more real. Yeah. Soon, I was looking in mirrors and seeing you stand there, a reflection in the window or a pool of water. Sometimes, I swear you could even touch me. But it wasn't you, not the real you. It was the you I wanted you to be. This perfect, subservient thing. But it didn't make me happier. It was just a dream. A dream that kept blurring lines like what was real and what wasn't. And so I went to see you, the real you, to, I don't know, get a grip, fix me. But it just made things worse when you didn't give a shit. When I would smile and you would look away, and you'd take every chance to hang out with others instead of me. His eyes flick briefly toward Jenna before trailing back down to the space between his feet and the wolf breathing slowly. Those past few days, it'd been unlike anything I've ever felt before. I'd forget what was real and what wasn't, and it'd drive me up the walls, you know? So, sorry, he rubs his face. Fuck. The wolf goes silent, goes still, the gravity of his words rendering everyone silent, even the radio. Jenna, who seems to be constantly wavering between lingering and noping the fuck out of here, glances back over her shoulder. Her grievances with Leo and Micah are apparently lessened in the face of continued paranormal onslaught. So this thing we're seeing, as manifested by the hum, is some sort of tulpa? A tulpa? The name sounds familiar, like something Carl mentioned to me in passing. In layman, a more advanced version of an imaginary friend. The Fennec frowns deeply, thinking. Process of induction, visualization, thought form, and other mental forcing can stimulate these sorts of psychosomatic happenings. Generally, you see it with people who say they talk to Jesus or other religious icons that encourage prayer and meditation upon idols. You're saying I'm like some kind of worshipped idol? Jenna sighs as Leo sinks down a little. Sure. It still doesn't explain why we can still see and hear this thing. Honestly, it's more likely we're during some sort of collective traumatic hallucination. Right now, I'm just spitballing here to rationalize this. She rolls her paw in the direction of the van. A person that others can see and interact with, born from a dream. We watch the radio, though it doesn't chime in. I think it's gone. Another silence. Finally, Micah speaks up. Jesus fuck, Leo. Can't you just print out Chace's yearbook picture and tape it to a fleshlight like a damn normal person? Leo looks to Micah, his tired, wounded face slipping into a grin before he starts to chuckle. It's the first bit of proper laughter I've heard from him in days, even if bittersweet. Micah, I'm sorry. Dude, for real? It's fine. Micah watches Leo with some wariness in his golden eyes, crosses his tattooed arms over his chest. Nah. What do you mean, nah? Nah. We may have just been messing around, but you had shit rough at home. Everyone knew it. And just didn't want to think about it. Yeah? You just disappeared one day, and that was that. But you were small, and didn't have nobody to turn to. I should have been there for you. Micah scuffs his foot against the dirt, looking a mixture of phrase and embarrassment at the conversation taking place. We didn't have that kind of relationship. Not like you and Chace had. Relationship? The bat looks at me quickly, clarifying. It wasn't really a relationship or nothing. That was a bad word to use. Just two kids who both knew they liked dudes and experimenting. There's a twisted sensation in my chest as I look at both of them, then imagining in the van. Right before what was essentially the most romantic night of my life. The day I felt most love and special out of any. With a $700 camera and 3-year age difference. Let's see, 13, 14, 15, 16. Mike ignores Jenna. Judging by your expression, I'm guessing he never told you. Don't blame him. Leo scoots himself to the back of the van, hanging his legs out the ends as he looks at me. And I should have. I just didn't want to lose you, you know? Did you really want to have sex with a pedophile? I mean, I guess, 8, 16, and 13 isn't as bad as 18, 13, but still, it's 13. He's looking at me now. And yet, he lost you anyway. Oh. It's all I can manage to say. Leo turns his attention back to Micah. I'm no replacement for Keith, but I should have helped you get back on your feet, introduce you to the group. Duos, you and Chace, would have gone along after a while. Wait, Dios? Or Dios, yeah. Didn't you want to be a journalism major? Jenna, despite the apologetic tone of Leo, definitely doesn't seem eager to stick around for this conversation. Man, that was a lifetime ago. We could have taken your feral ass in, showed you how society works. Come on, you probably don't even know how to do your taxes. Micah clicks his tongue against the roof of his mouth, kind of like how Leo does. Fuck taxes. Government ain't getting shit. Anyway, he clears his still raspy throat, wrenching as he swallows. If you want to get ahead of life, you can't rely on others. Gotta get it for yourself. He pauses, glancing towards Jenna for a moment. We did. I chime in, still trying to wrap my head around that revelation from earlier. Micah looks like he's about to snap back with something biting, but just waves it off with a flop of a hand. Anyway, if you want forgiveness, you got it. Let's just put some distance between us and this hotspot, okay? Please. Micah grunts once, beginning to walk off behind Jenna. After a moment, he slows some, looking back at Leo. Glad you, finally woke up, though. And with that, and us being near the hour mark, I think that's a good time to call it. Woof. I just couldn't. Like, that one, it's on a scene change, but, you could just be like, okay, we're changing, but then... Yeah, anyways, end of this Let's Play. So, please comment, cause I like comments. Do what you like, dislike, tips, otherwise. If you like my YouTube and like to see it grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos type of grow, and please remember to spay your animals to help control the pet population. And if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it for free on itch.io, but if you want to support people that made this game and are making other games, Patreon, where it's $3 a month. And until next time, another Let's Play by me, GamerWolfSix. Have you dated a pedophile simulator? I mean, Echo. So thanks and see ya.